We're here to fix the machine.
Battlefield Live. You're listening to the Battlefield Live with Chris and Trey from Lanterns Radio Network, WSHO 800 AM, the Sunshine Station. And I want to thank you for joining us. And the sun is shining here in New Orleans.
Bro, it's hot.
It is hot. And look, you know, if you all haven't been listening to us during the week, well, where you been? Secondly, Trey and I are actually racing to lose weight. And I can tell you this, Trey, going through the city, as much as I love the city, on a diet, I hate the city.
Right.
I mean, I was driving through, I was on Canal, and they had Venetia's, they had, what's that pizza joint they got down on Canal? Taylor, you know which one it is, the pizza place. I can't think of the name of the pizza place.
You just said all you had to say was pizza.
Dude, I just totally blocked that out of my mind. I can't even think of the name of it now.
At this point, it could be the pizza that you used to get in like high school that had like, for some reason, like a weird cracker bottom to it.
Dude, all I know is shoe soles look good for right now. Just put a little salt and pepper, I'll be in good shape.
Hey, I'm pretty excited though because clearly the chairs here at WSHO, they replaced them with much larger ones.
Yes.
What
are you trying to say?
I'm just saying that the chairs feel like they got some room in them now.
You think they're watching this on the cam and they say these guys are going to break them small chairs?
Management may have. This is all for an update.
This could have been like an insurance thing. They said these guys could fall and hurt themselves.
And then we sue them.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
we
very true.
We wouldn't do that, though.
But, hey, you heard about the people suing now over the shooting in Orlando?
I would sue the club, too, if I had a family member that died in a gay club. I mean, not that I think I would have a family member that would die in a gay club. You know, but yeah, of course. Okay, hold on. The guy, you said it was a 6 Sauer, right? Mm-hmm. What is a 6 Sauer? Is that like an AR? It looks like an AR-15.
You just said sour, and I was thinking about like candy
sour
and stuff.
punch.
Yes.
But is that what a 6 Sauer?
It's kind of like. I mean,
it looks like an
AR-15, similar to an AR-15.
Have you ever been someplace?
Different mechanics.
Have you ever been someplace and think that a guy could walk into a club through the front door with that type of gun?
Now I can. Now I think of that all the time.
I don't think that dude had to get in through the back door. There's no way he walked in. Everyone, especially Chris, I've been to a gay club before. Okay.
Okay. He's
Down
coming
here,
out, folks. He's on a diet. All of a
listen.
sudden, he's turning on me.
This is BC.
Don't look at me like
this
that.
This is BC.
All right.
Right before Christ.
All right.
The Oz, downtown.
Okay.
It's one of the world-renowned gay clubs.
You weren't like cross-dressing or anything, were you?
No. Not that time.
All right.
No, look, I did do a Tina Turner scene one time. I did Proud Mary. Not at the Oz. It was at a Christian dance recital.
Oh, God
and I did Proud Mary.
Because I'd have loved to have seen that on video.
I also did Hey Mickey. I was a cheerleader. And I always did my own makeup. This is true. I am not making any of that up.
Okay.
Thankfully, there's no video. This was before YouTube and cell phones, apparently.
Thank the Lord.
But, dude, they have security.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So you can't just walk up in there with a semi-automatic rifle.
Dude, I've seen videos where people literally put an AR-15 down a pair of jeans and loaded up with ammo.
Well, maybe if they were tailor sized, but they were my jeans. Okay. There's a lot of room.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get that gun in
your
there.
jeans.
That's what I'm saying.
And
one
we're
leg
completely
of them.
off the Oz.
One leg looks like a skirt on him.
Like a dress?
That actually happens. Both my wife and my daughter have gotten into each one of my legs.
You need to put that on YouTube.
I've already thrown away those jeans.
Why?
Because they don't fit anymore, and I don't plan to go back to that size.
You said that last time.
And the time before that.
And then you had like 4 McGriddles.
And the time before that.
Just saying.
But you listen, you enlightened me today. You asked me, you said, hey, why don't you just try to keep the weight off this time?
It's brilliance, dude.
And I really did.
All I got to say is you don't even have to pay for that truth.
No, listen, I appreciate it. That's what friends are for. And I had never thought of that. So I'm going to try that this time.
So what did you get me? What is this?
That is a Cafe Americano.
We can't even say American. We have to say Americano.
With one sweet and low black with an extra shot of espresso.
Good Lord.
So after or shortly before the second break, people ought to be able to not understand us. And you're like, is this a recorded show? They need to slow the tape down.
You look at the webcam. You can say, why is the camera upside down? It's not upside down. Chris and Trey are standing on the ceiling.
Yeah, these two guys are bouncing off the walls.
So what do we want to get into today, man? We want to talk about, the gun topic obviously isn't going away.
I mean, think about it. Last Friday we did the show, dude. Who knew? I love how these things work, right? We get on the air and we talk about the goings on, things that are happening,
right?
And then like a day later, or in between shows or something, like crazy things happen, and you don't expect it.
Well, if we did them every day, then we wouldn't have that issue.
No, that's true, and it'd be kind of timely, right?
And
just
actually,
be reporting on the news.
we have a show. We have a show on Saturday.
Right.
It happened on Sunday. Right.
No,
so
it happened Saturday night.
So it did happen the same day. Just happened to happen after the show.
That's true. I was thinking about this one though.
You don't have anybody you can call?
For what?
To let them know not to do that after the show.
Oh, right. Listen, to all of my Muslim friends out there who are considering the way of jihad, please check with Chris and I before you do something bizarre, so that one, we can either talk you off the ledge, or two, that we can at least plan to do a show.
And do not get an evil AR-15. Hey, I showed you the video. Earlier.
That video is hilarious. When are you going to post that?
Folks, I got some video that you all have to see. Right now, you can actually see one of them. I'm not going to post the other one yet. I have to produce it. But the first one, you can go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/LanternsBuzz, and see a video of me, I guess like a little short narrative before I start blowing stuff up with the AR-15.
You did, and everybody needs to see this, especially if you are if you're pro-gun, pro-Second Amendment,
right?
And you need to send this to people, because a lot of people are confused on this whole assault weapon thing,
right?
And you laid out very clearly, very succinctly, 5 different types of assault weapons.
That's correct.
That's some of the best work I've seen done.
Well, yeah, absolutely. There's 5 different assault weapons that clearly can be used in an assault.
Right.
And I lay out the case. I make a case between 2 of the guns that I was showing, the AR-15 and a Smith & Wesson 9mm shield. The differences between it. How is one different than the other? What's the the purposes and all that? And a very quick video. I think it was maybe only 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, something like that. The other one I got is a little longer. It's a little lengthier, and it's very, very informative.
Right.
And the kids will love it.
What do you think about this report that's coming out that can we stop saying presumptive?
Presumptive nominee?
Yeah, can we just say the Republican nominee?
I guess. I've been reading a lot of
come
stuff.
on, dude. He got like over 13 million more votes than any other Republican ever. He got over 1,500 delegates. He didn't just like nick at the 1237. He's the nominee, right?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. So Republican nominee Donald Trump is supposed to be meeting with more than 500 conservative Christian leaders next month in New York City. Here's what's interesting about it to me.
What is he going to be meeting about?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Are they going to get with him and are they going to spend a couple of hours teaching him how to talk like a Christian, or what? I don't understand what they're going to do, right? But it's being hosted by Ben Carson, the Seventh-day Adventist, Dr. Ben Carson. So he's hosting and moderating the event, okay? Now, according to the press release issued by United in Purpose and My Faith Votes, Carson serves as an honorary chair of the group and is going to lead a guided discussion between Trump and faith leaders. The goal of the event is to help conservative Christians better understand Trump as a person, his positions on important issues, and his vision for America's
Which Trump
future.
are we talking about?
I'm assuming Donald.
All right, so the Donald.
Because Donald.
There is a whole bunch of stuff out there that you could find out about Donald Trump.
No, there's nothing out there. And clearly, Christian conservatives, they don't know who Donald Trump is because they don't
watch all the filth out there.
I don't know. They've never heard of this guy. We've gone through 50 states worth of primaries, and now that the guy is the nominee, there's groups of people who want to go out there and learn. So wait, listen to this.
And he's had $2 billion worth of media coverage. They don't know who he is.
They want to understand Trump better understand him as a person, his positions on important issues, and his vision for America's future. Is it possible, 504-527-0800, is it possible that Christian conservatives, one, don't understand Trump as a person, two, don't know his positions on important issues, and three, don't know his vision for America's future? 504-527-0800. What do you think? I mean, this is primarily a Christian audience, so like, are you confused on any of these three things? Like, would you need to attend this sort of meeting? Now, this group, Chris, this group is supposedly, it's going to enable him to better appreciate matters of importance to the Christian faith community. So, like, what are they talking about? Are they saying that, like, being greedy and grab, we're going to grab, we're going to grab?
Yeah, but that was a long time ago.
That was, you're right. That was, what, 2 months ago?
Probably.
What about, like marriage? Marriage, the sanctity of marriage is important.
Yeah, but that was
even
also
if it's your
a long
third
time
one.
ago.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he could argue that he loves marriage so much he's got 3 of them.
And he's willing to give it to people that want to marry same sex.
Did he come out and say that? I thought he was going to leave it to the states.
Of course,
he becomes a federalist.
He is
when
federalist.
he doesn't want to wade into any controversy. Right?
I'm okay with that.
What do you think about? I know that's kind of a cool default about Donald Trump is that his ignorance.
He learned that from Ted Cruz.
Probably heard him say it in a debate.
He probably heard it. It was right after Ted Cruz said it. He said the same thing. I agree with Ted.
What he said with his little sausage fingers, right? Okay, so that might actually be a good thing. I'm kind of feeling this already. They even had the meeting as a Christian conservative. I'm already starting to kind of feel this.
You going to vote for him now?
I don't know. I haven't. No, I'm not. No.
I almost got you, dude. I almost got you.
The moment is perhaps the most critical in the history of our nation, and people of faith can make a crucial difference for our children and grandchildren by exercising their civic duty to cast an informed ballot based on a biblical worldview, Carson said. The goal is that coming out of this meaningful conversation, the faith leaders and Mr. Trump will be more informed about each other and would know one another better, and that he would see their unity in seeking God's direction for the future of America. Now, it's going to be closed. There's going to be no media. There's going to be no fundraising, no campaigning, no debates. And Carson said that although it's an open event with a brief address, he's going to actually open the event and give a speech.
Really?
Could Carson be kind of trying to say, look, hey, you put me on the ticket and I can bring you to – is this like a tryout?
You don't think he's decided who he wants as VP yet?
No, because listen, I thought it was Gingrich for a while, but Gingrich has been – dude, Gingrich has been putting his fortitude in a vice.
I think he got put – I think he got a little cross with Trump.
Right? I mean, he whatever chances he had. And I think Christie's been relegated to picking up his McDonald's orders.
You think?
Yeah, that's what was reported. Or supposedly, he went and picked up some fast food orders for him.
Like called up. He said, "Hey, Chris, I need you to go pick me up a number one."
Yeah, I've never eaten at a fast food restaurant, but I figured you'd be the guy to call.
Right? You got some experience there.
Yeah, just get whatever you get. Now I figure you eat a lot of it.
And we can make fat jokes, folks, because we are what?
Less fat than we used to be.
Yes, honey.
So anyway, I just thought that we've been talking about worldviews, and so
Right.
Ben Carson is out there, and he's basically saying, look, our priority for this meeting is to strengthen relationships and to build unity with an objective to simply have a conversation about the prospects of our nation and continuing influence of Christian believers and their biblical world view. We want to talk with Donald Trump about issues of faith and the role of faith in a civic area. And we wish to assure him of our prayers for his family and him. This will be a friendly meeting of people of faith who are genuine, prayerfully concerned about the future of America. So I think it's personally a little bit of a tryout. I think it's good if they can influence him a little bit with less of a secular worldview.
Right.
More of a biblical worldview.
Right.
And, but I mean, I'm just curious. Does anybody like not know? Anybody in this audience not, would they expect to gain anything from this evangelical meeting? So 504-527-0800.
So let's do this. Let's after the break we'll get into maybe get into a little bit of the gun stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's do this. Let's take our first break.
It's a big weekend, by the way.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Let me set this up.
Okay.
So what we'll do is after the break, we'll We'll get into a little bit of the gun stuff. I want to talk about this whole thing. It seems like the Republicans are kind of like, I don't know, they're trying to be wishy-washy now.
Now, which ones?
There's a lot of Manchin come out and said that due process is a problem.
Who said that?
Manchin. Yeah. Look him up.
Manchin.
Yeah.
Is he the guy from
Looks
West
like
Virginia?
Yeah, one of them places.
Due
Manchin.
process is a problem?
Yeah, he's seeing that the due process in the Constitution is a problem.
Well, I do know that Ryan is going soft on Trump.
Right.
He's out there basically kind of like almost attacking Trump, saying that we'll sue Trump if he tries to ban Muslims. Now, first of all, I hate to be the one to have to defend Donald Trump. I really am.
Right.
But I thought Trump, correct me if I'm wrong, Trump never said he wanted to ban Muslims. He said he wanted to ban immigrants from nations, predominantly Muslim nations, where we are currently in some sort of conflict. Is that not?
Look,
and for a limited time, right?
He's been all over the map. It's hard to tell what the guy stands for, but he has.
But let's give him the benefit of the doubt.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Has he come out and ever said that he wants to outright ban Muslims?
And he said he wants to temporarily ban immigration from
until
those
we can
parts of the world.
figure out what the hell's going on.
I am
right?
100% in favor of that.
Okay, so in that aspect, I think he's been a little maligned in his point, including by the GOP.
Right. Well, I think what's happening is the GOP is just trying to get to this next election. They are getting hammered by Obama, and they're just kowtowing to everything. Now you got
that's
this
what
guy,
they've done the whole time.
Yeah, and actually, I'm sorry, Joe Manchin was a Democrat. Democrat, Republican, same crap, right?
Okay, no. Listen, all you had to say was Democrat Manchin, due process is a problem. That's so believable.
Yeah, and if I look, I said it was a Republican, but would that say?
No, that would still take me back a little bit. Because I don't think they would come out and say it.
Well, I mean, a lot of these Republicans are coming out and they're being really wishy-washy about gun rights.
Well, Trump said he was going to go to the NRA and he was going to ask them to consider supporting the whole if you're on a no-fly list.
Well, let's talk about that after the break.
Okay, cool.
Let's talk about why that is a problem.
Why that's a
because a lot of people,
idea.
just at face value, it's like, yeah, we don't want somebody that's on a terrorist watch list to have a weapon.
Yeah, look, my wife was one of them. She was like, look, I know that I'm not supposed to be in agreement with this, but explain to me why that's a bad thing, because it sounds like a good thing.
That's why it's a break in the offensive line. People can run through that sucker. It's that wide. But once you understand some simple basic facts, you'll understand why that's a very, very, very bad idea. One of the worst ideas I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Once you realize the logic behind it.
Correct.
So let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We're over at WSHO in the GoDay.media studios. You're listening to Chris and Trey on the Battlefield Live radio program, and we are a part of Lanterns Radio Network. Stick with us. We'll be right back after this short break.
Saints of New Orleans, it's time to go marching in. And it's time to go marching in with Pastor Ed with today's Sunspot.
How you doing?
I'm okay, Pastor Ed. How are you today?
Okay, good. We're getting into it. I'm being asked questions about what's going on today. I'm a Christian minister of the gospel. I will deal with all people. Have I dealt with homosexuals? Yes, I have. Have I condemned them? That's not my job. That's done by God himself. But it's wrong. And there's nothing that I can say, oh, that's okay. They were born like that. I don't do that. Then the other thing is the other Muslims. I know some Muslim people. They're wonderful. But if you follow what the Quran says, then we have to take a stand. And I know that people want to be loving and kind. But I want to stand where my Lord Jesus Christ is, that he and he alone is the Redeemer and the Savior. Well, we ought to get into some of that one of these days, right?
I think that's a good idea, Pastor Ed. I think so.
Yeah, I know what the Baptists, God bless them, they're talking about bringing people into our country. That's good. But oh well, I don't want to get too excited. But we want to find out: are they really terrorists? You know,
That's right.
It doesn't make any difference who they are. What are they terrorists?
That's correct.
So we have a lot of things to do, but we must pray, and the Christian church must draw together and take a stand for Jesus Christ. That's my theory.
I think you got it right on that one, Pastor Ed. Sure.
Well, all right. Oh, I'll probably get some people commenting, but
Well,
I'm a tough cookie, buddy.
all right.
But a loving man. Okay, God bless you.
Very good, Pastor. God bless. Bye.
Sunshine 800 wishes you a happy Father's Day weekend 2016.
Thank you for listening to the Battlefield Live radio program on WSHO 800 AM. This is Chris and Trey from the Lanterns Radio Network. We're in the GoDay.media studios in New Orleans. And look, if you're enjoying the show, make sure you check us out on social media. We are all over the place, folks. We do this show 5 days a week. So you can go to our Spreaker account and get all of our archives. I bet you right now we're at I think we're last one with 340 episodes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a lot of episodes.
And that doesn't even count the stuff that we did over the last 7 years.
Yeah.
That's just been in the last 6 months.
So check us out there, Spreaker.com. Just do a keyword search. There's a couple ways you can do it. You can look up Lanterns Buzz, which you'll find the Lanterns Radio Network and all of our hosts, as well as you can look up just simply the Battlefield Live radio program or Battlefield Live, and you'll find a bunch of our shows. Also, another way to do that is to go to lanterns.buzz, the website lanterns.buzz, or even better, you can go to battlefield.buzz. Battlefield.buzz is the radio show page, and you can find that on the internet in your whatever browser. Just type in battlefield.buzz, and you can get there. Also, you can find us on Twitter by following us, and as we tweet all day, every day, even into the night sometimes. You can find us at twitter.com/LanternsBuzz, or just look at LanternsBuzz on Twitter. You can also find Trey at T-Rob Radio, and you can find yours truly at Paul Revere Again. On Facebook, you can find us facebook.com/LanternsBuzz. And I tell you what, if you all like shooting like I do, we got some pretty awesome videos there of us shooting some explosive targets, if you will. And I tell you what, it is awesome. And I was out there with my son and my cousin, and we're just having a blast. So check it out, facebook.com/LanternsBuzz. Also, you can check us out on YouTube, SoundCloud, which another place you can get our podcast, Player.fm, Stitcher, Google Play, iTunes, Google Plus. We're everywhere. Also want to mention Vast Virtual Solutions. If you're looking for a website, or you're looking for a way to streamline your business's administrative efforts, you can visit vastvirtual.com, and just reach out to those guys and gals, and they can help you. Or give them a call, 504-382-2474. We mentioned that we're in the GoDay.media studios. Rob and Melissa have put together a fantastic social media plan that has allowed us to reach out to thousands and thousands of folks. I think we're up to almost 55,000 people that we're connected to on just Twitter.
Yeah, just
Trey
Twitter.
and I. So you can check out that at GoDay.media. They could give you a hand there, as well as any branding that you need. So if you're trying to reshape your image of your business, you can check them out, and they can help you with that. And lastly, make sure we mention DH-Promotions. They are the company that has made all of our shirts. If you're looking at the webcam now, yes, that's the fat guy in the lantern shirt. That was designed and picked out specifically by Marshall over at dh-promotions.com. And I got a whole bunch of other stuff that's coming. In fact, some hats. And of course, I'm not doing any more clothes right now.
Right.
I got to wait for the weight to come off, because I don't want to look like I'm wearing my.
I need to get an extra large one from you.
An extra large? You want one?
For our sales guy.
Okay. We'll do that. Awesome. So, all right. So where do we go now? Oh, look, we haven't been mentioning our book lately.
Yeah.
Yes,
Deus Ex Machina, the machine, the progression of secular socialism.
Yes, you can get that on Amazon. And right now, I think it's, what, $9?
$9.99.
All right, so what's going on in the chat room? I see you over there. You kind of shaking your head.
Yeah, I mean, look, we started off. We're talking about Trump and Hillary.
Right.
We know who they are.
Right.
We vetted them.
Yeah, extensively.
Okay,
as well as all the other candidates.
Yeah, as well as everybody else.
Right, including Ted Cruz.
Absolutely,
our guy, quote unquote.
Quote unquote.
That's what they're saying. He's our guy.
I guess the thing that gets me is if you're looking at this whole political thing as some sort of game between two teams, then grow up. I mean, at some point, you're going to have to grow up and realize that that you're taking everything for granted. You're taking your freedoms for granted. You're taking the liberty. You're taking this country. You're spitting in the face of the efforts of people from past generations who have, in some cases, paid with their own life so that you could be free to just, again, I don't know how many times we got to say this. And if people tune in and need us to be the pro-Trump people, well, then it's the wrong show and you don't have to listen. I mean, your dial on your radio is not broken. You can pull the power, take the batteries out of your radio, whatever. I don't know. Turn your computer off.
All I can say is the truth is bright, isn't it?
But we're just trying to we're going to talk about principles. We're going to talk about timeless truths. We're going to talk about things that made America great and why America is still great. And we're going to talk about anything and everything that lines itself up against what we know to be the truth, whether it's a historical truth or a spiritual truth or a political truth, a sociological truth, whatever the case is.
And guess what? We got a phone number if you don't agree with us.
504-527-0800. Call in. Debate this with us. Talk to us. Make your opinion known. Don't hide behind a keyboard and poke sticks, with a stick, poke at the bears.
Sticks and stones, baby.
So anyway, hey guys, watching the show, sitting on the beach on the east coast of Florida.
Must be nice.
Hot, hot, hot.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
I don't think they were talking about us.
Oh.
That's all right, though.
Okay.
All right, so back to this gun deal.
All right. So check this out. So the kind of consensus right now going around is, all right, so let's back up a little bit. Last Sunday, let's go back to last Saturday. There was no discussion about guns. There was no hashtags about guns at that point.
But not.
Yeah, but it wasn't trending or anything like that. Maybe in the far reaches of either side of the debate, they were maybe just whispering and talking about. All of a sudden,
probably not since San Bernardino.
All of a sudden, an Islamic extremist, terrorist.
Let's just call him a Muslim.
A Muslim, extremist, terrorist.
Just a regular Muslim.
Okay, a Muslim goes into a gay nightclub.
Let's not call it a gay nightclub. Let's call it a homosexual club.
A homosexual club is actually the more medically correct term.
Well, okay.
It's true. I mean, that's what I'm just saying.
I've only stayed at a Holiday Inn Express,
and we can abbreviate that and just
simply
call it a homo club.
I don't want to.
You don't want to use a homo club?
No, I don't want to.
It's a short version.
It's shortened, but let's burn the extra calorie.
I see what you're doing there.
Yeah, and listen, I don't ever.
See what you're doing.
Let me tell you why.
You're trying to crawl into your safe space. I'm not letting you go there.
I'm not. What I am trying to do is.
Was that a trigger word?
It was not a trigger.
Just say yes.
There's no. I don't discern any microaggressions from you.
Okay.
I want to call it homosexual and not gay because I want the sexual image in a person's head every time we talk about it.
I like that better. I like that. All right, so let's peel back the
See, when you say gay, you just got some dude running around in some Abercrombie and Finch that's way too small for him.
All right, so let's do it. We're going to peel the banana back a little further. And it's no relation to...
Why's it got to be a banana?
Well, we're bringing back in the gorilla that we shot several weeks ago.
Very good.
You see how I'm doing that?
That's one of them. That's one of them.
You're still in the gay conversation.
Right.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking
about.
I didn't
see the Harambe Sedgway.
That's exactly Sedgway and that all back in there.
All right.
Okay, because this all is all relevant.
They got a movie.
You realize that there's a connection
Harambe.
between the shooting in the gay the homosexual club, right? I appreciate the correction there in our safe space, and and the Harambe story.
I didn't.
Harambe the gorilla. All right, so
I know there was a gun in both.
Just keep that one on the shelf, folks. We're going to revisit that one. Okay, put that one on the shelf along with the AR-15 and all the other scary things. So check this out.
Was Harambe Muslim?
He might have been.
I don't. Okay, I just had that thought.
I mean, he almost was about to kill a kid.
That's true.
And it was a threat. It's funny how when they killed Harambe, all the outrage. They killed 5 alligators in Florida.
5 alligators.
Yeah, and nobody said anything. You know why? Because those are reptiles. We did not evolve from reptiles.
Gator lives matter
In the secular world. What's that?
Gator lives matter.
That's right. So,
I saw a panda holding a sign the other day that said "Save the human babies."
A panda?
Dog, I was thinking about starting a business and selling like stickers that say "My dog is pro-life." Because people love their animals so much that if their animals support life,
you might have something there.
If we start getting animals to be like pro-life or pro-guns, like we have a deer that says I'm pro-Second Amendment.
You see what happens when we have four shots of espresso?
Brilliance.
Yes, brilliance comes forth. That's right. All right, so back to the gun story, because we're about to shoot each other if we keep talking this. All right, so check this out. So as Americans, we have rights, right?
Yeah.
Unalienable rights. That means that nobody can infringe on those rights.
Is it unalienable or inalienable?
It's both ways.
It goes work.
Yeah, it's bi.
They use. Oh, okay.
You like that? I'm being socially relevant.
That's right.
I'm out of the safe space right now.
Don't misappropriate that. Though.
Okay. That's true. I got to be careful with that. This society is so confusing nowadays, folks. So basically, we have these unalienable rights, right? In other words, they can't be infringed on anybody.
Can't be taken away.
So one of those rights is due process, right?
Right.
So put that on the shelf next to Harambe and the AR-15 and all that. So due process.
So you're unpacking this
I'm
right
unpacking
now.
this sucker. It's like unzipping a file on my computer.
Okay.
All right? So now, last Sunday, we had a guy go into a homosexual club and unload a military-style weapon is what they call it, quote unquote, as if knives aren't used in the military and pistols aren't used in the military. But we'll play along. Goes into a club, a gun that he bought legally. He was not on any terrorist list. He was what's some other things? He wasn't. He walked into this club, shot all these people. Okay,
right.
And the cops. I think it took 3 hours for the cops to kill this guy. Right, and there was a cop outside. So think about this. Think about the idea if you had 1 or 2 other people or 3 other people that had a gun in there.
And didn't he stop in the middle of the thing and make a 911 call? And
declare? Oh yeah, he was Facebooking. He was Facebooking. Okay?
Status update.
Yeah, so he had to get his little status update out there, making his allegiance to ISIS. We don't want to mention that. Because then we getting a little bit politically incorrect.
Because then we narrow the...
Yeah, we don't want to focus on what really is the problem.
We narrow the focus of what his intentions were.
Right, so all of this takes place, okay? The entire world all of a sudden loves homosexual people, right?
Yeah, I mean, you got world governments flying gay flags at half-mast.
Yeah, always we're in solidarity because
the Superdome,
because a Muslim went in and shot gay people.
Right.
So all of a sudden, the homosexual community decides, some of them decide that the Second Amendment is a legitimate right. We're starting to see people like with pink guns. What do they call it?
Oh, yeah, the pink pistols.
Right. So,
which is a gay, a pro-gun Second Amendment homosexual group.
Right. So the point is that I'm all in favor of that. I appreciate that, right?
Arm up,
because guess what?
And
that is an unalienable right to pack a gun.
If this is what it took to wake up the homosexual community,
right, to
arm up and protect them, we're all the safer because of it.
All right, so make sure I don't fall. I'm going to get due process off the shelf. Okay. So all right, so here's due process. So here's a guy that legally bought a gun that is like an AR-15. So I know everybody's got the image of the AR-15. They've seen it all over It's not an AR-15, but it's a Sig Sauer, but it looks like an AR-15. He goes to the store.
Does it shoot 223?
I think it can shoot 223. I don't know. I'm not sure what bullet it is. It basically shoots a similar gun. Okay, or a bullet. So he goes to the store. He buys his gun. He's not on any terrorist watch list. Now, he was on an FBI watch list a while back. Okay, several people actually called the FBI because they were concerned about the guy, including one of the people that he worked with that was basically telling everybody he was going to kill a bunch of people.
Yeah,
Okay?
and from what I understand, the FBI, after doing it, just concluded that the dude's work people were just racists.
Right.
That there was nothing to be concerned with, and that the guy, if you were reporting him,
Yeah.
like if you know anything about this, give us a call, 504-527-0800, if you know some additional details to this.
Right. So another thing that happened, he went to go buy body armor and 1,000 rounds of bullets. And the guy was asking him questions, and he said, we don't sell body armor here, and we can't sell you 1,000 rounds of whatever bullets he was looking for. So they called the place that he was trying to buy this from. They called the FBI. So the FBI was given multiple opportunities to do an investigation on this guy, and the reasons why they didn't do it is because the way that the gun shop owner said it, he appeared to be Muslim, and he was talking in Arabic. Okay? So, we can't go research that because political correctness.
Was he talking in Arabic, like on a phone or something?
On the phone with one of his buddies. Like after they told him they didn't have body armor, he stepped away, got on the phone, he started talking Arabic on the phone, and the guy behind the counter said, this doesn't look right. So he made a phone call. So all this talk about make sure you let somebody know if something doesn't seem right, that goes out the window with the FBI.
See something, say something.
That's right. That's what they always say. Just like what happened in California.
With xenophobic.
That's exactly right. Same thing happened in California with the San Bernardino shooters.
Yeah.
Right? They had somebody that said they didn't want to say nothing because they thought they would be looked at as Islamophobic.
Now, the flip side is that Donald Trump said he would kill his wife.
Right. All right. So here we go. Look at progress a little further. So I'm going to go up on the shelf and I'm going to get something else that y'all don't know I had up there.
Yeah, because that is a hot shelf.
The ACLU, check this one out.
What?
The ACLU was complaining recently about the FBI watch list and the terrorist watch list because there was too many Muslims on it. Too many Muslim names.
All right. I mean, because that's what they do. I mean, they try to.
Okay.
They gender and racial politics.
All right, so we got all these things. We're laying out we're on the grill right now.
Yeah, right.
We got this all on the grill.
And
if
nice
you watch
picnic basket.
That's right. If you watch my video on the Lanterns Buzz Facebook page, you'll see that I had some tongs today. We actually use these tongs in a special way.
That's right.
Right. All right. So got everything laid out on the grill, and we cooking this sucker, right? So check this out. So now Congress comes out and says that, and not all Congress, but most of Congress has said that we have to get terrorists that are on these watch lists, prevent them from buying weapons. Now, that sounds great because when we think terrorist, we think of foreigners. We think of somebody that's not an American citizen.
Well, did I miss when you took it down from the shelf? Did I miss you explaining how you get on the terror watch list?
So that's a very good point, Trey. Because guess what?
I mean, can you just accidentally stumble into the list?
You could actually, because they could change the definition of what a terrorist is.
Because who controls that? Is that DHS?
I'm not sure exactly who. I think it may be the FBI.
FBI.
Okay, so check this out. So remember when they were talking about the Tea Party as being terrorists?
Yes, that most of the terrorists they were worried about were like libertarian organizations and right-wing
extremist terrorist groups.
White supremacy groups or
Trump
supporters.
You notice how they've been building up for years on this idea of what a terrorist is?
Absolutely.
Right. So
especially the domestic type.
Yeah, domestic terrorists.
Because this kid was an American, right?
Well, he was an American citizen. You're right. He was born in the United States from a guy that came from Afghanistan that had his own radical Islamic video show. He was running for president of Afghanistan. Okay, I mean
that's not like a small deal.
No,
you're running for president of.
He pledged allegiance to the Taliban.
His paw.
Yeah, his paw. Okay, so we wonder why this guy got all screwed up in the head, right? Okay, so we got this thing kind of all packaged under the table. Let's put this all back together. So now we have this terrorist watch list.
Okay.
And they want to prevent people from being able to buy firearms if they're on this watch list. That includes American citizens. Well,
right.
Guess what? If that happens, folks, that goes against your due process rights. In other words, why would you be prevented from buying or exercising any right without the due process? In other words, the best way to put this, folks, is innocent until proven guilty.
You talking about due process?
Yeah.
Right.
Because if you can't go buy a gun, that means you're guilty first.
That's the 5th and the 14th Amendment, right?
That is correct. So why can you not buy a gun because somebody has suspected that you would do something wrong? Right? Isn't this kind of the same thing where you can't hold a man without a trial in Guantanamo Bay? Isn't this the same folks that say you can't hold a terrorist in Guantanamo Bay without a trial?
A known enemy combatant.
A non-citizen.
Non-citizen.
And it goes against the Geneva Convention because the Geneva Convention does not protect terrorists.
Well,
right?
Correct.
So the same people that want to take American citizens' due process rights away want to let terrorists not only get a trial when they've gone against the Geneva Convention, which they're all into the UN stuff, right? Let them out of Guantanamo Bay and bring them into the United States to give them rights. So we're going to give terrorist rights, and we're going to take away American citizen rights. Think about how upside down this is, folks.
Dude, sometimes you hit a moment like just now where it's just a moment of brilliance, dude.
Don't look at me like that.
I mean,
this is a strange world we live in now.
Dude, look, I thought about the fact that Barack Obama believes in giving military-style rifles to the Syrians so that the Syrians can protect themselves from a tyrannical dictator and their government, while he's trying to take away guns from American citizens that are military-style rifles for the very same same reason. But
see, this is what makes me nervous, Trey, is that people know that this is going on. They see this going on, but they don't see it that clearly because they don't understand the Constitution.
You mean like they hear in the news?
They hear all of this
these
stuff.
Politicians are talking about guns.
And they get upset about it.
The media is talking about guns.
Yes.
And it's never anything good about guns.
No, but what happens is progressives, and this is not just Republicans or Democrats, these are progressives, see an opportunity to erode or further erode the Constitution through destroying your due process rights. So once you give up your due process rights, at that point, it's all about who's a terrorist and who's not a terrorist.
So do you want to hear the different ways that you can get on the terror watch list?
Sure, go ahead.
This is unbelievable.
Go ahead.
The standard is reasonable suspicion.
Right. So it's not guilt.
Meaning...
So it's guilt before innocence.
That irrefutable evidence or concrete facts are not required.
Right. Right.
Now, here's another way to get on the list. You could post something on Facebook or Twitter that raises reasonable suspicion.
Okay, so boy, we do that all the time.
Somebody else could just think you're a potential terror threat and report you.
Right. And all of a sudden you're now
on the terror watch list.
Right.
Which means if they get their way, you now all of a sudden can't buy a gun.
That's right.
You could be a little terrorist-ish.
In other words, having a weird looking beard.
At least according to someone else.
Right.
Yes, so like having a Muhammad beard.
You kind of look. I was about to call you Muhammad earlier.
I like Fat Abe. Or you could just know someone,
right?
Terroristish-y,
right?
Maybe.
Is that a word, terroristy?
It is in this article.
Okay.
And if you're in a category of people determined to be a threat,
right,
your threat status could be upgraded at the snap of a finger.
Okay.
And you get on the list.
It's amazing.
And then lastly...
And guess what? Who makes that list?
And
Do we make that list?
I don't know.
I would imagine the American citizen doesn't make that list.
Finally, you could just be unlucky. The process of adding people to the terror watch list is as imperfect as the intelligence officials tasked with doing so.
And folks, go look on Facebook for Omar Mateen, the shooter, the guy that shot those kids,
right,
in Orlando. Go look how many Omar Mateens are on Facebook. You think that's a kind of odd name?
Ted Kennedy got put on a terror watch list.
He probably should have been on a terrorist watch list. I'm just saying.
There have been reports of false positives or instances in which an innocent passenger has been subject to treatment under a no-fly or selectee list because his or her name was similar to that of another individual.
Ah, look at that.
In one highly publicized incident in 2005, a 4-year-old boy was nearly barred from boarding on a plane to visit his grandmother.
Guilty before proven innocent, buddy.
And so, I mean, and by the way, this is from that ultra right wing rag of
I can't believe you're looking at right wing crazy sites.
Huffington Post.
Oh, all right. So look, we're gonna. I want to close this out with this because Harambe's still up on the shelf.
We do have to take a break.
Yeah, we do have to take a break, and Harambe's up on the shelf. So when we come back,
he looks safe. He can.
He's safe up there as long as he ain't moving around. Ain't got no kids around him. Ain't nobody to shoot him. We got AR-15 up there too. So we're gonna talk about this thing when we get back.
Stay away from the shelf.
Yeah. So
that's Harambe.
So stick with us after the break. We got a couple callers as well. We'll get into the Harambe discussion. You're listening to Chris and Trey on the Battlefield Live radio program. And give us a call if you want to talk. What's the number, Trey?
504-527-0800. We'll be back after this quick timeout.
We'll be right back.
Are you looking for a reasonable and affordable way to enhance your image or your company's image on the internet? Are you looking for ways to leverage internet technology to streamline your business? An upgraded website or web application is the way to go. Vast Virtual Solutions is a technology company that specializes in developing websites that operate on the cutting edge with the ability to save you and your business time and money. Visit vastvirtual.com for a business quote today. vastvirtual.com.
Do what is just and right. Rescue from the hand of his oppressor the one who has been robbed. Hello, I'm Tony Perkins with the Family Research Council in Washington. Obamacare is getting a premium checkup, but it's consumers who've started to feel sick. 6 years after the president misdiagnosed the country's healthcare situation, insurers can't make a living, and most Americans are losing theirs just trying to get basic healthcare coverage. And next year, consumers are in for their biggest shocks yet. In some states, like Texas, insurers are trying to raise rates as much as 58%. In other places, the prices average as much as 20% more. This is exactly why Americans need to be paying attention. Elections have consequences. And if Barack Obama and Nancy Pelosi had told Americans what Obamacare would lead to, things like taxpayer-funded abortion, sex changes, job loss, business cutbacks, a tax on conscience, the law would have never passed. For more, go to TonyPerkins.com.
All right, folks. Thank you for joining us back on the battlefield, and we are on the battlefield to illuminate the truth and to hash out on the battlefield of ideas. So let's take a couple callers. Let's go to Tony. You there, Tony? Tony left?
Tony, Baboni.
What about Brian? Is Brian there too? Let's take Brian. What's up, Brian?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are y'all doing?
Good. How are you?
Wonderful.
You know, I really almost didn't want to call because it's so much fun to listen to you two.
Thank you. We
like,
appreciate it. Sharing the love. We love it.
It is like two brothers the night before Christmas, arguing over who's going to hold a package.
Well, you know, Brian, you can listen to us 5 days a week on the Lanterns radio network at lanterns.buzz.
Is that on a computer? Or?
Yeah, it's on a computer, or you can probably get it on a mobile phone if you have a mobile phone. A lot of ways you can get us.
Well, I got to learn how to use a computer first.
So
what you got, Brian?
You know, it's just not the weapons that they want to ban. And it looks like, from what I saw in the news today, that there are a number of Republicans that are starting to get on board with a possible ban. For quite a while now, there have been a number of different ammunitions that are getting harder and harder to get. And I'm not talking about battlefield. I'm talking about hunting ammunition.
Right.
30-06, Winchester, a number of different just hunting rifles.
Right.
It's getting harder and harder and harder to get the ammunition. And something else that is not being reported by anybody, Hal Lindsey reported on it and one or two others. But in February, I should say, the last 3 weeks of February and 2.5 weeks of March, there was the largest military exercise in the Middle East ever. And it wasn't the United States. It was 24 different Muslim nations in the area.
Wow.
It was headed by Saudi Arabia and Turkey. And I can give you an idea why we're having such a hard time getting tanks and other different materials over to Poland and a few other countries that Putin has his eye on. Let me give you an idea of what this entailed in the Middle East. There were 357,000 troops. These are all Muslim troops. There were 20,000 battle tanks, a good majority of them Abrams M1 battle tanks, T-72s, and some of the newer versions of Russian updated. There were 2,500 attack helicopters, which a good number of them came from the United States. 5,000 artillery pieces, which a good number of them were from the United States. And it goes on and on and on.
So what do you think they're doing, Brian?
Still over there.
What do you think they're doing? What do you think they're doing over there?
Well, this is the whole thing. This was a live fire exercise. They had mid-range missiles that had live warheads that they were using in practice. And in the middle of the exercise, they changed whether they changed directions or whether Russia got a hold of transmission, but it seemed as though they were headed towards the Syria direction. And it was a possibility that this exercise was not an exercise, but the how can I say this in a non-inflammatory way? It seemed as though they were going to take a chance and possibly try to take Syria away from the 2,000 Russian troops that are in Syria.
Well, that's definitely plausible. I mean, there's a lot of things that are going on in that region of the world for all types of reasons.
Brian, a couple years ago. Let me share some. That's all right. Let me share something with you real quick. About a year and a half, 2 years ago, Chris did some research on that region because some things just weren't adding up, and he, before anybody else that I heard, reported on the connection between Saudi Arabia and its disdain for the current administration in Syria. Saudi Arabia wants to basically become a player of energy for Europe. Russia is the major player in energy right now, and basically almost its entire economy is based on them being able to give oil and natural gas to Europe with nobody else, in the game. So this pipeline, the Qatar, there's a Qatar Turkey pipeline, maybe I think it's called. It's blocked. It can't get into Europe unless Syria okays it. And so, of course, Syria's saying no because Russia's in its back pocket. So the Russians are protecting Syria because it blocks Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia needs us to get rid of Assad so that we can then put in somebody who's then going to be more friendly to the Saudis. And it ended up crushing the Soviet Union. And the Soviet Union's at a place where Saudi Arabia and all the other OPEC countries, they can afford low cost for they don't have to shoot a single missile. They don't have to shoot a single gun.
They're starving out the Russians.
They don't have to throw 90%
or 80% of their economy is based on natural gas and oil.
But $40 a gallon oil destroys the economy of Russia. So
it's killing them, and especially militarily, it's killing them.
Now, you mentioned Hal Lindsey.
Yes, sir.
Syria is interesting to me for one reason. I'm waiting for Damascus to lay in waste. To me, it's one of the next big markers when the city of Damascus, which is arguably the oldest inhabited city in the world, when it lays to waste, that will be a huge marker of biblical prophecy toward the ultimate, the end times and the return of the Lord. So that's kind of an interesting time.
What makes this so interesting is now you have the talk on Capitol Hill of wanting American. We have the aircraft carrier now in the area that they want to go against Assad's Air Force. You cannot distinguish Assad's Air Force and Russian Air Force.
Right.
And believe me, if our Air Force goes into that area that's controlled with those SA-400 surface-to-air missiles, which there is no defense against, it's a parking lot. There, you cannot get around them. It's impossible.
Thank you, Brian. We're up against it. We got a couple of minutes left, but thank you for the phone call,
Thank you,
brother.
Brian. So it's interesting, dude, how we just went from Harambe the gorilla, which we haven't really even got into. He's still on the shelf up there, to Syria.
Yeah, I know, right?
I mean, this show, folks.
No. What's more amazing is Brian has no computer or internet.
Right, and knows all of this. How do you find all? If I didn't have a computer, I'd be cutting grass and be like, "What's up?"
Brian will call up and Brian will say things, and I'm like, I know Brian doesn't have a computer or doesn't use one.
Right.
Like, how does he get his info?
Hey,
it's always usually spot on.
I mean, I guess before computers, people getting their
people
info.
got info.
Yeah. So,
can we get to Harambe real quick?
I don't know if I have enough time to get to Harambe. We got only like 3 more minutes.
I trust you.
All right, so check this out. This is what I'm thinking.
We can go further tomorrow.
The whole Harambe thing upset me because the way I look at it is people are valuing or putting on the shelf of life, if you will. We're talking about shelves,
right?
Where Harambe the gorilla was on the same shelf,
it's on the premium shelf,
as that little boy that was there, right? And but the alligators aren't up there.
No, alligators on a discount shelf.
They on a discount shelf.
It's like a dollar store shelf.
That's right. And the reason why is because of evolution.
Oh,
it's this whole idea that human beings are on the same level as animals.
Yeah, nobody's going to be around another 14 million years when the gators evolve into...
are mere animals.
Gotcha.
You look at this other guy that shot off these kids in that place. He's just another animal.
But Harambe should have voting rights.
That's right.
That's what they think.
And trees and grass. They should all have the same rights.
Humanity.
You think we silly folks would be hyperbolic? Go look on the internet. Brian, I'm sorry. I don't know if you can find that in newspapers.
Well, look, you remember what we reported last week, what Canada's Supreme Court ruled as okay.
Freaks. Yeah. What's going on up there, man?
It's coming to us.
It must be something in the water. It must be one of the meteorites that went down and hit the place. So anyway, look, check this out, folks. If you're interested in the show, we just told Brian, we're on 5 days a week. So if you're enjoying the show as much as Brian said he did, make sure you go to lanterns.buzz, check out our network. We got other people that are hosts on that show as well, on that network as well. But most importantly, go to battlefield.buzz. You can see where you can find us on social media, and you can't get enough. We're everywhere. We're on Twitter, @LanternsBuzz. We're also @Paul Revere again, and @TRob Radio on Twitter. You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/LanternsBuzz. You can find us on SoundCloud, YouTube, where else? Player FM, Spreaker, iTunes. You can find us on Google Play, Stitcher, Google Plus. We're everywhere, folks. Thank you for joining us on the battlefield. You've been listening to Chris and Trey on the Lanterns Radio Network, WSHO 800 AM from the GoDay.media studios. Thank you for joining us on the battlefield today. We'll be back next Friday, 5 o'clock. Later, Tater.